Soon after the hurricane, I took a trip, traveled through the devastated area, went down to St. Bernard Parish, and just the devastation there, and in that area, a house actually slid on its slab and relocated itself in the middle of a road. I had never seen anything like that in my life.
I remember hearing over our radio system, one of the workers telling the other worker, hey, there's an alligator in a hole in the road where your house used to be.
There's nothing else working. It was described as going from the Jetsons to the Flintstones in a matter of minutes, and that's kind of how it was. I knew this was something that was life-changing for everyone involved.
We immediately set up a call center at the DOTD headquarters. And my first experience with the devastation were phone calls that I received from people who had loved ones who were in New Orleans and they could not get in touch with their loved ones. I also received a call from someone who was stranded on top of a roof. So we worked really hard to connect them to the right emergency response people that could give them aid.
The Tuesday morning after the storm hit, I had my boss, Gordon Nelson, call me and asked me at that time to send the ferries that we have in New Roads down to New Orleans to help get some of the people off the banks because they couldn't get across the river. They ended up getting down there about 15 hours later, working with the United States Coast Guard and some other boats. We ended up getting about, I think, between 5,000 and 6,000 people into the buses so they can get out of New Orleans.
Arriving on the scene at Hammond Highway Bridge, 17th Street Canal, there was a couple of Orleans Levee District personnel there. Things I never saw. I saw water everywhere. There was fires, which surprised me. I found out later that was from the gas lines that were never turned off. So you'd see fire on top of the water. We had no communication at that point, but all of a sudden a helicopter showed up from Texas National Guard. Still don't know to this day how that helicopter arrived. We dropped a few bags and you could see that it was like dropping a rock in a bucket of water. It was going to take forever. This hole was, I don't remember the dimensions, but it was not only big, but it was very deep. West Jefferson Levee District, we had worked with them before in flood fights, and we had a method of quickly closing a breach, but nothing to this magnitude, not even close. We'd dump rock in it, and we'd seal it with a fine aggregate, if you will. And the challenge was to find a material to do this because transportation wasn't there. We couldn't do any of that. So we found some material to use, and we started mining that, basically. We considered a lot of things. We considered just pushing debris and houses, for that matter, into the hole because of the emergency situation.
The employees across the state came to the aid of South Louisiana through physically coming down here and helping with debris removal, inspection, repair of signals, to where the district was flooded with outpour of help from other DOTD employees.
District 07 is actually our Lake Charles district, came over and helped our Hammond district because they got hit pretty hard in the St. Tammany and the Washington area. They came over with their crews and helped out with anything they needed. They brought over their people, and they also brought over their supervisors and their maintenance engineers to help.
I can't say enough about both DOTD's actions during the event and after the event, and in the years since, frankly, throughout the whole organization. Whatever we needed, whatever it took, they tried to provide.
People that came in would crash just on the floors of offices. Some, if somebody's house was there, they would share with other people's houses. Later on in the process, we had worked toward getting some temporary housing, some trailers for them and stuff like that. It's people who didn't have places to stay.
We worked with our employees to provide them shelter here, right here at the district headquarters office, so that they could provide for their families, live here, and also help with the recovery of Hurricane Katrina.
We should be proud of DOTD and what it did and what it still can do and what we still do today, even with not emergencies, on a day-to-day basis.
I was never more proud to be a DOTD employee than I was after Katrina. The amount of work that was done since the storm, we set a very high standard. Now we still have to live up to it.
When we're given a task, we can accomplish that task. And when we know what our mission is, we accomplish that mission. And I know that in future emergency events, whether it's ice storms, hurricanes, flooding, that we come together and we're able to provide for the citizens of this state. It is an incredible group of people, a dedicated group of people committed in making this state better. And when emergencies happen, that's when you really see the true grit of people. And I can tell you that the DOTD employees have that, and they have the compassion, and they will be here to help their fellow man.